IndieVoice, and today we're talking about a game that goes back to the ages of bend and stretch cartoons, a time of old-fashioned Mickey Mouse with a hint of twisted tales of Felix the Cat. Welcome to the world of Cuphead, created by Studio MDHR, a world filled with crazy vegetables, airplanes that transform into certain constellations, creepy clowns, genies, and all the above craziness. The story begins on the two characters known as Cuphead and Mughead, both playing and running around about the beautiful day until they run upon this devil's casino area, which they go in and they check out all these games, earning money, coins, things like that, until the devil himself appears and decides to make a deal with these two. Basically saying, if you can make a good roll in this game, I'll give you all the money I have at the casino. If you fail, then I get to take your souls. Upon saying that, Cuphead decides to take the challenge, and he rolls, and it's Snake Eyes, which is probably the worst roll to get in this situation. So he says, I'm going to take your souls. And they're like, whoa, man, hold on. Before you do that, I'll do anything else. Just let us have our souls. And he's like, okay, fine. I'll give you an ultimatum. I will let you guys go out and collect the souls of the people that owe me debt. So basically, it starts their adventure of going out and fighting all these crazy amount of enemies with their random abilities, and it gets nuts. So the main features about this game is there is co-op between both characters of Mughead and Cuphead. There's a simplified mode and there's a regular mode. Normally, most players want to go for the regular mode because in the regular mode, the bosses go all out, they get their fourth forms, and they get contract. In the simplified version, basically, there's no contract, it's just straightforward boss fights, and they don't have their fourth forms. Their boss battles are pretty extravagant. They focus between two different types, which is airplane mode, which is you fight in the skies, and then there's the land mode, which basically causes for a lot of platform jumping and dodging a lot of things that are flying about. A lot of these characters, or the bosses, are references from old-time cartoon characters such as Betty Boop, which is the airplane boss. If you take a look at the hair of hers, it looks just like hers. The coins in this game are not as easy to get since they are in very short supply of them. So no, you cannot farm them to automatically gain like a lot of coins to buy all the bullet types and forms and everything else like that. It's not that easy. So once you collect the coins from that level or that particular level that you're at, you cannot go back and refarm them. With the coins though, you can acquire new different bullet sets like I said before. There's the spread shot, homing, boomerang, charge shot, and even more that you can go for. Side note, there are different combinations so far that I've seen that different combinations of these between these two shots can help you out more in boss fights or can help you destroy all the bosses altogether. Thing is though, from what I've seen, there's the power combo, which is the charge shot and the boomerang, and there's also the distance combo, which is the regular bullets and the homing shot, and then you have the spread shot, which also helps you throughout most of those situations. On the bottom next to your health bar is, well, that 3 HP area. You basically have a special gauge. Once that gauge of playing cards goes all the way up to max, you're allowed to use your special ability, which so far what I've experienced has been the first one, which is a spinning milk spray attack, which does a bit amount of damage, and then you have the invulnerability, and then you have the blasting shots for the third form. You gain your special even faster by parrying the pink projectiles or hitting enemies constantly. Each boss has a different attacks, different ways to make the game about 10 times more difficult. Mind you, if you are going to play co-opable, I would be a bit careful for the fact that the boss's health will stack up a bit higher normally than the single player, so there's a lot that you could take from with this. There's no way to tell how low the boss's health is. Die, and then it'll show like where your progress is, but you cannot check mid-game where you're at, which I kind of like, because then that means I have to keep fighting, or the boss's attacks to change, which normally gives a big indication of, hey, he's getting obviously to his area where he's starting to get low and he starts attacking more intensely or faster. There are many ways that you can perceive this. There is a bit of a learning curve. The game does get a bit difficult. even if in simplified version, you will see that constantly with the frogs, with the boats, and several other crazy enemies. You'll see that in regular mode, it gets more intense, and trust me, even at simplified, I've died like at least 10 times. Honestly, so the main thing I want to talk about is why they delayed the game, and I am glad they kind of did do that. From what I've researched is that the game was originally supposed to be a series of boss fights, which would be fun to a certain point, but now since they had to delay it to add more content to Cuphead and also give more of a story and adding more things to make the game more what they would like it to be, instead of losing their scope about how the main focus for Cuphead was supposed to be. So I am pretty happy that they decided to take the time into doing that, and it made the game amazing as it is right now. As you see, this is exactly how it would look. Cuphead definitely deserves a good score of an 8 out of 10. It needs to be in your Steam or Xbox library. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and keep being awesome and playing awesome video games.